Hello Leo, welcome back to my channel. If you enjoy my readings, please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as leave me a comment and let me know if this reading resonates with you. Alright, so this week we're going to use the Magic Merlin deck as well as the Narcissistic Tarot deck. So I want you to go ahead and think about your question with these things in mind, and I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards. Alright, and we'll pull the Narcissist cards. Alright, so for your central and present issue and the answer to your question, we've got the Earth card reversed and obsessive compulsive behavior. So this could be an earth sign such as Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. They might be having some envy issues, greed, or even materialism. Alright, so the opposite of that is admiration, earthiness, and wealth. So this is what this person needs to be focusing on, but instead they're focused on greed, envy, and materialism. And it may be even causing them to be obsessive compulsive, according to the Narcissist cards. So let's take a look at your next card here. Okay. Alright, so we've got dryness, which is associated with excess, danger, and solitude. And we also have the third card from the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. The 4 Horsemen of Narcissism. Okay, so the 4 Horsemen of Narcissism are basically, it's kind of a cycle that repeats itself, and it starts with criticism, and then, you know, eventually you end up feeling contempt towards this person who criticizes you. And this is the 3rd horseman of narcissism, contempt. Alright, so whoever this is in your life may be a Leo, because look, there's a Leo on this card, Leo. So maybe it's you that's feeling this contempt, okay? So in this relationship, any relationship, and this particular one where it has to do with the 4 horsemen, the first step is the bad cycle starts whenever you get someone in your life that says, you know, something that's criticizing, right? And then that's just a chain reaction, okay? So let me see. Alright, I can't remember the second card. Alright, so the 4 horsemen: criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. So it starts with the criticism, and then it turns the other person towards defensiveness. And then the person who initially usually put out the criticism is also going to feel contempt towards the person. So it's a never-ending cycle, and then it ends in stonewalling. So it can definitely be the end of a friendship or the end of a relationship if you're not aware of this cycle and if you allow it to take over. So, and it says right here on the dryness card that's reversed with the Leo right there, the lions on this card, it says watch out for danger, excess, or solitude. So we definitely can seem, I mean, I know that I personally can get a little bit, you know, defensive, irritable whenever I've been in solitude for a long time. And let's just be real, all of us have experienced it this last year at one point or another. even if it was just for a couple weeks. Most likely you had to quarantine, even if you just had to travel. All right, so heat is your past. You had a friend, and they were they might have been starting an evolution. Or they may be feeling like evolving, some kind of evolution or change. All right, and this is the heat card. It has a huge phoenix rising up out of the ashes right there. And the narcissist card is romantic success. I don't know what you're thinking. You're like, well, that doesn't sound like a narcissistic trait to me. But unfortunately, a lot of narcissists really do come across as the perfect lover when you get in a brand new relationship with them. They love bomb you and treat you like gold until they get, what they want out of you. So that's your past. It's something that happened in your past. You may have achieved romantic success, but it wasn't exactly what you thought it was going to be. Alright, so we've got cold is your factors affecting the situation, which has a bear on it. It represents rest, reserve, and bravery. And let's take a look and see what kind of narcissist card. Okay, so this is radical acceptance. So radical acceptance pulls the plug on hope. So basically, if you are dealing with a narcissist, it doesn't matter if it's a family member, a lover, a friend, someone that you've known your whole life. It could even be a parent. At some point, you realize that they're not going to change. After so many times that you've been burned, you realize that they may not change. And at this point, you have two choices. You can either accept it. Radical acceptance is, you know what, this is not going to change. I have to just do what I have to do. Sometimes this requires cutting the cord, realizing that people really don't always change. Accepting the leopard can't change their spots. What if you can't accept it? Then there's path 2. Does not accept the radical acceptance. Everyone can change is the attitude, that you adopt, especially if it's your family or your friends. So the path number 1 says you just accept it. You deal with the toxic behavior. You may even be grieving something like your career, or grieving a job, grieving a marriage. You may be feeling guilt or shame or fear, or even a constant rinse and repeat cycle. But eventually there's no more denial. Justification of the behavior and regurgitating your past problems, rinse, repeat. All right, so you may be dealing with someone who has narcissistic tendencies and absolutely refuses to change. And maybe they just are in denial that they even have any kind of narcissistic issues, right? All right. And for your future, we've got a new arrival, a new start, or a new idea. All right. And this is showing an eagle flying high in the sky, right in the sun. So with spring, I know there's a lot of new changes. We've got the vaccine coming out. Things are changing. We've got a full moon this weekend. It says the narcissist card is criticism. All right, so this is also the first step in the narcissistic 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse of Narcissism. Criticism. All right, so this is in your future. So this means that you might be the one who is the narcissist that brings this criticism to, basically you just, it doesn't really matter what you're criticizing someone for. And sometimes you might even feel like you're trying to help someone when you're criticizing them and trying to tell them that they need to better themselves. Especially if you're in a situation like this, where maybe it has to do with addiction or path of where you have to just accept it. You know, you just really can't do anything about it. At that point, you know, the only thing that you can do is change. You can watch what you say and try to be, you know, the stronger individual and set an example. All right. And the only way that you can do that is by, you know, setting a good example as to, you know, if you had good parenting, that always helps. It helps whenever your parents cared. But if they didn't give a crap, then, you know, set an example for your own heart, for your own, you know, conscience. And just do what you know would be right in your heart. So what are we going to do to manifest something positive in this future? Because this is kind of a rough reading right here. And I do really like the narcissist readings, but I like that it does kind of always shuffle out a lot of things that you might not have been realizing were going on. The weather's getting a little crazy here, y'all. Just bear with me. Success. Alright, so your manifestation card is success or succeed. So you definitely want to manifest success. The way that you can do this is you can use, you know, manifestation, and manifesting success can be something that you do like affirmations. Maybe I really don't like affirmations, but I have used them before and they really did help me. But yeah, if you're struggling with your work, maybe you don't have enough confidence to make the sales that you need at work, that's the only time I've ever used any kind of success manifestation was when I was struggling in sales. And usually it's really just about brainwashing yourself so that whenever the customer asks you a question, you automatically know the answer. You don't stumble. If you stumble for 1 second, then you know, then you pretty much lost your customer. So here's your next manifestation card is willpower. And you know, willpower just means to push forward. So if you have any other questions or comments, please leave them below. I hope this reading does indeed resonate with you. And you come back and see me next week.